The first step in getting mentally tough is to live your life and see the world, yourself, everything around it in objective reality. Not fantasy, but seeing things the way they really are as opposed to the way you wish they were or the way people programmed you as a child to believe they were. One of the things I used to do on stage all over the world for 30 years was get under people's skin. It wasn't the point of it, but it did get under people's skin. I'd say to the audience, I'd say, how do you suppose, using critical thinking as our guide, how do you suppose Santa Claus gets to all those houses in just one night? I mean, think of it critically. The weather alone would be a nightmare. The crossing oceans, the logistics of the houses, the chimneys. How does he do it? He doesn't. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy we're programmed with as children. And most of us really enjoy it. I sure did. And because they tell us and we find out that it's not true. Okay, but a lot of things that we are indoctrinated as children are not true. And no one tells us they're not true. They just go on. We're supposed to live our lives, base our very lives, our belief systems, which basically run everything we do in terms of actions. Base our belief system on these lives. Let's go through a couple real fast. Okay, in school they tell you when you're a little kid, if you get a good education, that's the key to success. Well, that's actually not true. Education, while important, is not the key to success. Solving people's problems is the key to success. Okay, let's go to when we play sports. A lot of us played sports, right? They say, hey, nice guys finish last. You got to be more competitive. Nice guys finish last. Not true at all. Nice guys don't finish last. Nice guys usually do really well. They're well liked and they do well after sports as well. Okay, now let's go to the church. Oh, that's a big one there, right? I was confirmed in the Catholic Church. I spent 3 years studying the Bible, 2 days a week at the church. And what do they tell you in the church? Well, just one of the things. Okay, we'll just take one little one. A 500-year-old man named Noah built an ark. Yeah. That flood occurred about 100 years after he did it, and Noah actually lived to be 950 years old. Yeah, amazing, huh? Since people usually don't live to be 950. I've never known one that's 950. In the year 1800, the average person lived to be 30 years old. But Noah apparently lived to be 950. Obviously, this is a fable. Talking snakes, the list goes on forever, right? Here's the point. If we don't rid ourselves of these myths and start basing our belief systems on objective reality, the way things really are, we are going to live a life like the masses do, which is fantasy, made up, completely in a delusion. That's not the way to happiness. That's not the way to success. Get an objective reality or live with the masses.